Hello and welcome to this edition of Coach's Corner, brought to you by My Game Day Collections, mygamedaycollections.com. Their styles are comfortable and an alternative to women's and men's basic t-shirts and hoodies. They also offer royalties on all gross sales, up to 8% kickback to the schools that sign up with them, and also 50% off discount on all standard shipping. The first return is free. There's a lot more there you can find at mygamedaycollections.com. On this edition of Coach's Corner, I am welcomed by Lincoln Pius the 10th volleyball coach, Katie Wenz. Coach, how are we doing today?
We're doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, I guess. Getting through it, right? Getting ready for a holiday here. Hopefully, get through that and maybe get to actually see some people participate on a court or football field or something.
I am getting excited by the day for that. So hopefully it's all going to go smoothly when we're able to do that.
How has kind of this last 2.5 months gone for you and your team, I guess?
It's definitely been hard. It's one of those things you don't see them all the time. So you're kind of wondering, what are you doing? Are you staying active? Are you staying engaged? And, it's been communication. Like, none of us could have club this year, and it got shut down so quick that it was hard to have them prepare and say, this is going to be your workout. This is what I expect you to do. So it's been a lot of checking in on kids, that type of stuff. We have been able to get back into the weight room and the conditioning these past couple weeks. So you could tell the kids that really did something and the kids who didn't. And so that's the conversations right now of what you can do to get back to where you should be.
Mm-hmm. And you guys, I guess volleyball was one of the first things that kind of started with baseball, because it's a little, there was a lot of people that are like, well, volleyball, you're still around people. Well, it's kind of can be sort of socially distanced, right?
Right. And everyone said, well, how close do you get to each other on a volleyball court? Well, if you look at how close you can get, and your two back row players bump into each other, well, they're making contact. So it is a way to be social distance. If you're not playing and scrimmaging, running the drills, running some touches on balls, just kind of get those fundamentals back. You can be socially distant, but they're also kids too, and it's hard for them to remember and know what 6 feet are. Remember not to share all those waters. So it's a kind of a training thing for them to be socially distant, but you still want to be competitive. So we're kind of on that weird, awkward fence. But so far, we started open gyms for Pius at least on Wednesday. So we'll see how that looks. But so far, the kids have been really conscientious in the weights of maintain that distance, because we did tell them you got to follow these if you want a season. So you can see they definitely do.
A lot of air high fives.
Yes, air high fives, fist bumps, some TikTok moves that I guess they're doing. I don't know. I've learned some of those. So they're being creative, if nothing else.
Wait, you don't have a TikTok?
I do, but I definitely see what the new trends are every day, and then I go find them to understand them, because explaining it just isn't cool. But I've been learning because because what else are they doing? At least they're doing TikToks, right?
Right. And you guys, I guess, onto the fall. I mean, everyone is very hopeful that is something that we have. Whether it's I guess the question is, first question, how awkward would it be to not have fans or parents even in the stand?
Very. If you've ever been to a Pius home game, our student section, our parent section, our fan section's amazing. So that gym's always full. When we go to camps, there's always kids, there's always parents around, kids to support. So I think it'd be really awkward to not have that support. But I do also think the kids know that that's something, if they want a season, then they have to learn to play without that. I would definitely miss it. They would probably hear me yelling at them more, or cheer. We'd have to step up and cheer a little more. But if that's what it takes to have a season with no parents in the crowd and live stream it, then I'm all for that. And, our fans can be supportive in a different way, maybe on the live stream, have a group. But it would definitely be a very different vibe and a different feel from when you have that. And I definitely give a lot of our success to our student section and to our fans, because that's really what keeps our kids going in some situations. So it would be very awkward. It'd almost make a practice every day. But I guess we start Greater Nebraska League here in a couple weeks, and no parents are allowed to attend. So that might be an interesting introduction to how it might look.
Yeah. Is there the one thing that I noticed, I guess, at the boys state basketball tournament, where it was, there was very few fans there, was you could really hear coaches kind of instruction. Is that something that you even worry about, or maybe think about down the road if it happens?
Maybe down the road if it happens, but I communicate so much as signals and sign language and verbal with my kids. It's kind of trained in our practices. Every day we crank the music really loud just so the kids have that feeling of loud. So they are used to hearing my sign language, or my cues. I call it my sign language with them. My cues, my facial expressions, that type of stuff. So it would probably be a different vibe. They would probably wonder, but I also wonder too, and this is just my thought process because nobody's really experienced this. There's a level of competitiveness go up and down based on your type of environment you have. I mean, I have seen it in regular games, so I often wonder how that might look. But yeah, we have a kind of a silent communication, so it might be different for them to actually step up and hear and see me. But if I have to wear a mask, they might not hear me anyway. So we'll see.
The whole volleyball trick with the clipboard and the numbers and what zone to serve it to and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
You guys return quite a lot, including one pretty good kind of, I guess, middle blocker, right? Outside here, middle blocker. She's not bad.
Not bad. She's pretty good. I think you're talking about Alexis. Yeah. We did lose 2 starting seniors and another senior who came in from the bench. So there are some definite holes to fill. We do have a lot of kids coming back, and we do have Alexis. And she's kind of been that kid that she started as a sophomore. She was injured her freshman year, started as a sophomore, and just kind of grew over the past 2 years. And she's one of those kids, a very, very humble athlete, and she could very easily let it go to her head. But that would not be a way I would describe her. And so she has really stepped up to be that senior leader these past couple weeks. So I'm excited for her to senior year. I have quite a bit of seniors this year. So I'm very excited to see where she will step up as a leader to take on that role.
What's it going to take to get back to state championship level?
Following what we've done every year and setting little goals for ourselves to the end goal. So what I mean by that is every team wants to win state at the end of the year. That should be your goal. I would hope that would be your goal. But for us, it's setting goals every practice, setting goals every game, and then those little goals will become big goals. We don't look ahead to say we're playing this team. This is who we're probably going to see in the state finals. Every team, we don't know if we're going to win. And if you don't compete, it's going to hurt your chances to get to that end goal. So I think for us staying focused, we will have a very good team. I feel this year we will have a lot of strength in many areas. So for us to stay humble and for us to not play November 3rd, I think it is this year, not play November 3rd on September 1st. And I think that's something that we have to definitely keep in our mind because it's not guaranteed to us.
Sure. Okay, so last question here.
Yeah.
Question I ask everybody on these. Who is not the most talented, but favorite athlete that you've ever coached?
I think one of the favorite athlete I've ever coached was probably, she's a senior about 3 years ago, Lindsay Nodelman, who is, I've loved all the kids I've coached. So everybody out there, I loved every single one of you I coached. But I think Lindsay Nodelman was one of my most favorite kids to coach. And she's actually at UNK right now. She's a starting libero there. And I think one of the things that I really loved about coaching her was she wasn't afraid to learn from me, and I wasn't afraid to learn from her. And we'd sit down a lot and talk about what she thought we needed to do better. We just had a very good relationship, respectful relationship of, this is what I see, coach. I want to see it from your perspective. And she was always the kid that I asked you to do something and you do it. And I asked you to be a leader. You're a leader. I need you to step up and do this, step up and do that. And to this day, we still communicate weekly. And she comes back and helps camps, and just that type of athlete where there's a mutual respect and wanting to learn, and I can learn from her. Oh, is that me? She's been really fun to watch now and grow from. So she would probably be the one I look back and was one of my favorite kids to coach.
Cool. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. I know it was kind of short notice when I asked, but felt like we needed to get some volleyball talk on you.
Yeah, I'm ready for it, and I hope you'll be at our games this year, or in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I will. I'll do my best to do what I can as far as that's concerned.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah, take care.